शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே ஜகதः பிதரௌ வந்தே பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வரௌ. ஸ்ரீ பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வராभ्यां நமः. कोमलं कूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन्। हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं। नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं चक्रवाटी ध्रुवमभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं। श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरधाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने. കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും ഇറക്കുന്നു നിരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഇതിനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. So we'll do 33 and then we also do a review of 34. 33, Kritika, can you do 33? And then Mridula ji, you can do 34, 1 to 8.
Okay. Dasakam 33, Ambariksha Charitam. Vaivaswadakya Manuputra Nabaga Jada Nabaga Namaga Narendra Sutombarikshaha Saptar Navavrata Mahit Taitobir Preme Tvatshangishu Tvaicha मग्नमनाः सदैव त्वत्प्रीतये सकलमेव वितन्वतोऽस्य भक्तैव देव न चिरापृताः प्रसादम् यो नास्य याचनमृते प्रक्षणार्थं चक्रं भवन् प्रविततार सहस्रतारम्.
Kritika, third line. Ye nasya, first part. Ye
Okay.
nasya yachana mritepya bhirakshanartham. The line button, say it again.
ये नास्य याचनमृतेभ्य विरक्षणार्थं चक्रं भवन् प्रविततार सहस्रतारम्.
Bhavan. Last line bhavan. Okay. The second word, fourth line.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. सत्त्वादशी प्रथमतो भवदर्चनार्थं वर्षं ददौ मधुवने यमुनोपकण्डे पत्न्या समं सुमनसा महतीं वितन्वन् पूजां द्विजेषु विसृजन् वसुषष्टिकोटिम् तत्रादपारणदिने भवदर्चनान्ते दुर्वाससास्य मुनिना भवनं प्रभेदे भोक्तुं वृतश्च नृपेण परार्तिशीलो मन्दं जगामयमुनां नियमान् विधास्यन् राज्ञादपारणमुहूर्त समाप्तिकेदात् वारैव पारणमकारि भवत्परेण प्राप्तो मुनिस्तदत दिव्यदृष्टा विजानन् क्षिप्यन् कृतोद्धृतजडो विततान कृत्यां च तामसितरां भुवनं दहिन्तीम् अक्रे वीक्ष्य नृपतिर्नपदच्चकम्बे त्वत्भक्तपादमभिवीक्ष्य सुदर्शनं ते कृत्यानलं चलभयन् मुनिमन्वदावीत्.
Kritika, the first line, last word, dahantim, im sound, okay?
दहन्तीम्.
Yeah.
तावन्न शेषभुवनेषु बियास पश्यन् विश्वत्रचक्रमभिदेक दवान् विरिञ्जम् कक्कालचक्रमतिलङ्घ्य दीत्यपास्तः सर्वं ययौ स चपवन्दमवन्ददैव भूयोपवन्निलयमेत्य मुनिं नमन्तम् प्रोचे भवान् हृंशे हमृषे ननु भक्तदासः ज्ञानं तपश्च विनयान् वितमेव मान्यम् याहम्बरीक्ष पदमेव भजेदि भूमन्.
The fourth line, first word, it's a half ha and a ya, right? Yahyambarisha.
Proche bhav.
And the last line, fourth line, first word.
Yahambariksha padamev.
You are saying Yahambarisha, you are saying. It's Yahyambarisha.
Yahem. Yeah, okay. Yahem. So now the practice
Okay. And the HYA, ha and ya coming together, okay? So Yahyambarisha. Okay.
Yahyambariksha. Okay. Tavat sametya muninasa krihidapado raja basrutya bhavatastra masavashnaushit chakre kade munirata takilakshishoshmai tatbhaktimakasi kritobi kripam cha samsan.
The last line, first word, Tvad Bhakti. Tvad, not Tad, Tvad.
Tvat bhakti makasi. Okay. Raja pratikshya munimeka samamanaswan sambojya sadhu damrusham vishujan prasannam bhuktva swayam tvai tato bitritam pradobhut सायुज्य मापचस मां पवनेश पायाः. कृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
Om Sri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Dasakam 34 Sri Ramacharita Varnanam. Girvarnyairartamano dashamukanithanam kosaleshu shringe putriya mishtimishtva dadushi dasharadashma prade payasagryam tvadbhuktya tatpurandrishvapi tisrishu samam jadagarbha sujato ramastum lakshmanena swayamata parate napi shatrughna namnam.
Vidyaji, that
Oh,
fourth line after Lakshmanena, there is a pause, okay? In the fourth
sure.
line. The third line, the first word is Tad Bhuktya. You said Tad Bhuktya. Okay.
Tad bhuktya. Thank you. And pause after Lakshmana. Okay.
Yeah.
Kodandi kaushikasya kraduvaramavitum lakshmanena yato bhutastvaja munikatidamanudvandva shandadvaketaha nirnam tranaya bhanaihi munivajanapalattadakam padayitva labdva smadastrajalam munivanamagamo deva siddhasramakhyam Maricam dravayitva makha shirasi sharaihi anyaraksham sinigdan kalyam kurvannahalyam padipadarajasa prapya vaideha geham bindanaschandrachutam tanuhu avani sutamindirameva labdva Rajyam pradishtitastvam tripirapi chasamam bhratravirai sadarai arundane rushathe bhrigukulatillage sankramaya swatejo yate yadosvaya yodhyam sukamiha nivasan kandaya kandamurte Shatrughnenaigadadho gadavadi bharate madulasyathivasam tadarabdobhishekah tava kila vihata kegayatisha putriya.
That first line, second word, Rushandhe. I think you said something slightly different there.
Where is it?
First line, second word, Arundhane Rushandhe.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
Arundhane Rushandhe, thank you. Tadoktya yatu kamo vanam anujavathu samyutam chapadaraha pauranaruddhya marge गृहनिलयगतः त्वं जटा चिरधारी नावासन्दीर्य गङ्गाम् अधिपदविपुनस्त्वं भरद्वाजमारात् नत्वा तत्त्वा गृहेतोः अधिसुगमवसश्चित्रकूटे गिरीन्द्रे.
Bangladesh second line, Guha. You said Griha. Guha Nilayagatah. Okay.
Guha Nilaya. Okay. Shrutva, thank you. Shrutva putrartikhinam khalu haradamukhat swargayatam swatatam tapto dattvaambutasmai nita bharate patukam medinim cha atrim natvadagatva vanamati vipulam dandagam chandakayam hatva daityam viratham Sukatimakalaya charuphosh sharapangim Nattvagastyam samasta sharanikara sapatrakritim tapasepyah patryaishraushi priyaishi tadanujamunina vaishnave divya chape brahmastre chapi tatte पितृसुहृदं वीक्ष्य भूयो जटायुं मोदाद् गोदातडान्ते परिरमसि पुरा पञ्चवट्यां वतुढ्या प्राप्ताय शूर्पणख्या मदनचलद्रुदेरर्तनैर्निस्सहात्मा तां सौमित्रौ विसृज्य प्रबलतं तमरुषा तेन निर्लूननासाम् दुष्ट्वैनां दुष्टचित्तं खरमभिपतितं दूषणं च त्रिमूर्धं व्याहिंसि
So go ahead, Mithulaji.
व्याहिंसि रशराननप्ययुधसमधिकान् तत्क्षणादक्षतोष्मा.
That first line, it's Shurpanakyaha. We added a visarga and then put a comma there. Okay, so Praptaya Shurpanakyaha, comma, then Madana Chaladrite. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. All right, so we'll continue from 9 and then we'll finish 9, 10 and then we'll finish 35 today. It'll be a little long, but we'll squeeze it in somehow. Okay, so first half, so let me see who I had. Sitagar, you can be student, and Ravi, you can be student first half.
Okay.
So stanza
so
9.
You want me to do the first?
34th Dasakam, 9th stanza. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Do you want me to do the first one?
No, Sita will do first, you'll do second. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Stanza 9. Sodharya prokta varta bivasha dashamukha dishtamaricha maya sarangam sarasakshya sprihita manugata pravadhir banaghatam tanmaya kranda niryapita bhavadanuja ravanasta maharshit tenartopittvamantah kimapi mudamadhaha tadvadhopaya labhat. Like we're seeing last time, because the entire Ramayana is condensed, right? There's so many stories embedded in each stanza. So we'll again, even this time also, we'll only touch on certain critical points, right? So last time we saw in Dasakam, in stanza 8 about Shurpanakha coming. So the Shurpanakha eventually, got, her nose got chopped, right? So the backstory goes that Ravana had gotten rid of Shurpanakha's husband. So, Shurpanakha, although was very close to Ravana, she also had this mental thing going on behind of how to take revenge on Ravana. So when she actually went there, and then when this incident happened, and she saw how powerful Rama and Ravana were, she thought the best person to get rid of Ravana is actually Rama and Lakshmana. So she then goes and, however, she then goes and tells Ravana to say, I saw this really beautiful lady who you need to have, because she knows the moment she tells that to Ravana, Ravana is going to come to kind of kidnap Sita, and then Rama will be able to fight back Ravana. So anyway, that's like a big backstory that goes. But at the time, what happens is first, this Maricha who came earlier, we saw earlier when Rava drove away Maricha, it said. So Ravana now sends this Maricha, right, in the form of a deer. And even Maricha also knows, he knows the strength of Rama, and he knows that there's no way he can escape from that. But however, he felt it is better to be, gotten rid of at the hands of Rama than to be killed by Ravana himself for not going. So he then takes the form of a deer, which you all know. So he kind of goes in the form of a deer. And then that Sita then falls for that. She tells Rama to go, and Rama chases Maricha. And then he then lets out a cry in Rama's name, which Lakshmana knows is not true. But however, Sita tells you to go. So all of that is happening. And then Ravana then comes in the form of a Maharshi, comes in the form of a sannyasi, and then abducts Sita. So all of that is condensed in this one stanza. So although Rama, you felt grief that Sita was taken away, you also knew the purpose of your avatar was to get rid of Ravana. So this kind of gave you an opportunity to go there and meet Ravana and eventually get rid of him. The last word says, Tad vadopaya labhat. You took it as a blessing to eventually go meet Ravana and get rid of him. So, Sodarya prokta varta vivasha dasha mukhadishta maricha maya. So the whole line together, put a plus. Sarangam, and then put a comma. Sara Sakshya Sprihita Manugataha is there. So Sprihita Manugatah, put a F to join. pravadhir banaghatam. Sodharya proktavarta vivasha dashamukhadishtamaricha maya sarangam sarasakshya sprihitamanugata pravadhir banaghatam.
Sodarya प्रोक्तवार्ता विवदशमुखादिष्टमारीच माया सारङ्गम् सारसाक्ष्या स्पृहित मनुगतः प्रावतिर्भाणगातम् सोदर्या प्रोक्तवार्ता विवशदशमुखादिष्टमारीच माया सारङ्गम् सारसाक्ष्या स्पृहित मनुगतः प्रावतिर्भाणगातम्
Sodarya Proktavarta Vesadasamukhaditya Marecha Maya Sarangam Sarasaksha Stridam Anada Pravadir Banagadam Sodarya Proktavarta Vesadasamukhaditya Marecha Maya Sarangam Sarasaksha Stridam Anagada Pravadir Banagadam
Tan maya kranda niryapita bhavadanujam, comma, Ravanas tam aharshit. Put it, Ravanas tam aharshit. It at the end of that line, comma. Next line, there is a it and a te, so that first it goes away because we moved it to the end of that line. Tenartopi twamantaha, comma. Kimapi muda madhaha. That is there, remove it, put a visarga, comma. Muda madaha. Vadopaya labhat. Tanmaya nirgyapita bhavadanujam ravanastamahārshīt tenārtopitvamantaha kimapi mudamadhāha tadvadhopāya labhāt.
तन्मायाक्रन्द निर्यापितभवदनुजां रावणस्तामहाशीत् तेनार्तोऽपि त्वं मन्तः किमपि मुदमदाः वधोपायालभात्
The last word tadvadhopāya labhāt.
Sorry, किमपि मुदामदाः
Tadvadhopāya labhāt.
तत्वधोपायल okay, sorry. तन्मायाक्रन्द निर्यापितभवधनुजां रावणस्तामहाशीत् तेनार्तोऽपि त्वं मन्तः किमपि मुदमदाः तत्वधोपायलाभात्
Dhanmayangranta niryabhidabhavadanujam Ravanastamahārshīt Denārto vidvamantaha Kimapi mudamadaha Tatvadobhaya labhāt Dhanmayangranta niryabhidabhavadanujam Ravanastamahārshīt Denārto vidvamantaha Kimapi mudamadaha Tatvadobhaya labhāt.
Certain. Bhūyastanbhīm vichinvan ahritadhashamukah twadvado madvadene tyuktva yate jatayau divam atasuhridah pratanof pretakaryam grinhanam tam kabandham jaganita shabarim prekshya pampatate tvam samprapto vatasunum vrishamuditamanah pahivatahayesha. So then after Ravana had abducted Sita, then while looking for Sita, then you came across Jatayu. Remember, first time he saw Jatayu again. First time he saw where at the time the abduction had not happened. So this time when he sees Jatayu, Jatayu says, that my wings were cut off because I saw Ravana abducting Sita. So that's how Rama comes to know that Ravana had abducted Sita and all that. And then Jatayu was very severely wounded. So you then performed, he was dying. Anyway, you performed the final rites for Jatayu, and then you meet another asura called Kabandha, who then you got rid of, and then you then gave salvation to this lady called Shabari on the banks of river Pampa. So the Shabari she was one of the big disciple of Matanga Muni, And when Matanga Muni gave up his body, Shabari said, I also want to come with you. But she was a very ordinary lady. So when Matanga Muni gave his body away, he got liberated through yoga. So Shabari says, I also wanted to come with you and you get liberated. But she says, you are not knowledgeable enough on the yogic practices to be able to give up your body. So he says, however, you can also get liberated by meeting really great people. So she says, you wait. Lord Rama will come one day, and then through Lord Rama, you will get liberation. So the Shabari then kept, like she was waiting for Rama to come every day because she doesn't know when Rama is going to come. So because she was a very ordinary lady who was living in the forest, she used to pick these berries, and then she used to taste these berries every day and keep. And she used to keep the sweetest of berries to Rama, right? So she used to bite everybody berry, take a taste of it, and if it was sweet, she used to keep it for Rama. If it was bitter, she used to throw it away. Right. So even though when Rama came, he ate the leftover berries from Shabari, right? And then she got liberated. So with this way, you then liberated Shabari as well. And then finally, you then get to meet Hanuman at that area, right? So finally, you meet Hanuman. And then this Dashakam comes to an end, right? So please protect me, Lord of Guruvayur. Bhuyas Tanveen Vichinvan. So you have an in and a na there. You first put an in and a comma. The next word starts with the a. Ahrita dashamukaha. So that is will remove, put a visarga comma, dashamukaha. Tvad vadhum madvadhene tyuktva. So put a plus at the end of that line and then a comma after tyuktva. Yate jatayo divam, comma. That ma will break it, divam, comma. Atha suhrudaha, put a F to join suhruda. Pratanoho, put a F again, Pratanov Pretakaryam. Bhuyastanvim Vichinvan Ahrita Dashamukaha Twadvadhum Madvadhene Tyuktva Yate Jatayo Divam Atasuhrida Pratanov Pretakaryam.
Bhuyastanveen Vichinvan Ahruta Dashamukhatvat Twaddhumadyadhene Jate Jatayau Divam Atha Suhrudah Pratanof Pretakaryam.
The first line Dashamukaha. Okay, that visarga is there.
Sorry. Bhuyastanveen Vichinnan Ahruta Dashamukha Twaddhumadyadhene Tyuktva Yate Jatayau Divam Atha Suhrudah Pratanof Pretakaryam.
Bhuyastanvim Vichinvan Akridadasamukah Svatpadum Matpadene Ityuktva Yade Jadayo Divam Asakridah Pradano Predakaryam. Bhuyastanvim Vichinvan Akridadasamukah Svatpadum Matpadene Ityuktva Yade Jadayo Divam Asakridah Pradano Predakaryam.
Grinnanam tam kabandham jaganitha, comma, Shabarim prekshya pampatate tvam, comma, Samprapto vatasunum, comma, Brishamudita manaha, comma, Pahi vatalayesha.
Rajesh, I'm very sorry to interrupt. I just have a quick question. Is it ityuktva or tyuktva?
Madvadhene tyuktva.
Okay.
So that word, it's like it's madvadhena, then it is ityuktva will come, but then because it's joined together, it becomes madvadhene tyuktva.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Grihnanam tam kabandham jaganitam shabarim prekshapam patate tvam samprapto vatasunum brishamudita manaha pahi vatalahesha.
Gruhnanam tam kabandham jaganitha Shabharim preksha pampatate tvam Samprapto vatasunum Brushamudita manah Pahi vatalayesha.
The second line, Brishamudita manaha, visarga is there. Last line, Brishamudita manaha.
Yes, sorry, yes. Gruhnanam tam kabandham jaganitha शबरीं प्रेक्ष्य पम्पातटे त्वं सम्प्राप्तो वातसूनुं वृषमुदितमनाः पाहि वातालयेश।
गृह्णानं तं कबन्तं जगनिद सबरीं प्रेक्ष्य बम्पादडे त्वं सम्प्राप्तो वादसूनो प्रसमुदितमनाः पाहि वातालयेश। गृह्णानं तं कबन्तं जगनिद सबरीं प्रेक्ष्य बम्पादडे त्वं सम्प्राप्तो वादसूनो प्रसमुदितमनाः पाहि वातालयेश।
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Dasakam 35, Sri Ramacharita Varnanam. So in 34, we saw the Bala Kandam, we saw the Ayodhya Kandam, and the Aranya Kandam, where they spent time in the forest. So now it comes to the Kishkinda Kandam, where Sugriva, Hanuman, all of that. Then Sundara Kandam, which is really condensed in one stanza, literally. And then the Yuddha Kandam and the Uttara Kandam. Everything comes in this Dashakam 35. So stanza 1. नीतः सुग्रीव मैत्रीं तदनु हनुमता दुन्दुभेः कायमुच्चैः क्षिप्त्वाङ्गुष्ठेन भूयो लुलुपितयुगपत्पत्रिणा सप्तसालान् हत्वा सुग्रीवघातोऽत्यतमतुलबलं बालिनं व्याजवृत्या वर्षाभेलामनैषीः विरहतरलितस्त्वं मतङ्गाश्रमान्ते. So here when Hanuman then meets Rama, and then Hanuman, then Rama tells Hanuman about Sita and everything. So at that time Hanuman then brings Rama to Sugriva. So Sugriva then says, you know what, I have also lost my wife, so I can feel the pain that you are going through, and I can help you find your wife, but then you also have to help me back. First you help me, right? Help me get my kingdom back, get my wife back. And then Sugriva says, then I'll give you the entire monkey army, and then we can actually go rescue Sita. So there, then it goes into the story between Sugriva and Vali, right? So Sugriva first says, before you can go help me fight my brother Vali, I first want to test your strength. So he says there are a couple of things which you can do to test your strength, because to see if you're stronger than Vali. He says the first thing is there was this person called Dundubi, who was like a big bull, right, with horns and everything. He says Vali was able to lift Dundubi and then throw Dundubi over a really long distance. That was Vali's strength. So then Sugriva then takes Rama to the place where the Karas, the leftover piece of Dundubi was, and tells Rama, show me if you can lift it, because that is to show if you are comparable to Vali. So here it says, Shiptva Angushtena Bhuyo. Just with the tip of your foot, O Rama, you are able to just kick that leftover carcass of that Dundubi, which then flew away. So you kind of showed that you are able to compete with it. Second is there is a Sala trees which are there, which Sugriva says Vali is able to pierce the arrows through each of these trees very, very strongly. So can you do that? So with a single arrow, Sapta Salan, you then pierce with one arrow, you pierce through all the 7 trees. So by doing this, you showed Sugriva that you are able to combat with Vali, and then you are able to win. You can potentially win against Vali. That was the first test that Sugriva does, which Rama doesn't get offended by that. Then eventually you then go and fight with Vali, which you all know the story, right? Vali and Sugriva, they went to fight this. Dundubi's son comes to fight them. Then they both end up chasing the Dundubi's son. They go into a cave, and Sugriva then closes the cave because he's worried for 1 year nobody comes out. So he closes that cave, and then blood starts coming. He comes back thinking that Vali is dead, but Vali is not dead. Then he comes back, then Vali then takes away Sugriva's wife and the kingdom and all of that stuff. Anyway, that battle happens, and then eventually Vali is gotten rid of. So once you then do that, then the rainy season starts. So once the rainy season starts, they don't do anything at the time. So you then decided to rest in a hermitage at that point. Nita Sugriva Maitrim Tadanu Hanumata, Dundubehe, is that put the ich sound, Dundubeh Kayamuchehi, Kshiptwangushtena Bhuyo, Luluvitha Yugapat Patrina Sapta Salan. Nita Sugriva Maitrim Tadanu Hanumata Dundubeh Kayamuchehi Kshiptwangushtena Bhuyo Lulubita Yugapat Patrina Sapta Salan.
नीतसुग्रीव मैत्रीं तदनु हनुमता दुन्दुभेः कायमुच्चैः क्षिप्त्वाङ्गुष्ठेन भूयो लुलुविथ युगपत्पत्रिणा सप्तसालान् नीतसुग्रीव मैत्रीं तदनु हनुमता दुन्दुभेः कायमुच्चैः क्षिप्त्वाङ्गुष्ठेन भूयो लुलुविथ युगपत्पत्रिणा सप्तसालान्.
Is it me, Rajesh? Should I continue?
Continue. Yeah, continue. Yeah.
Neither Sugriva Maitrim Tadano Hanumata Dundube Kayamuchai Shudvangushtena Bhuyo Dulivida Yogavat Patrina Saptasalan Neither Sugriva Maitrim Tadano Hanumata Dundube Kayamuchai Shudvangushtena Bhuyo Dulivida Yogavat Patrina Saptasalan
Hatva Sugriva Ghatodhyatam Atula Bhalam. So that word, it's easy to break it as Sugriva Ghatodhyatam Atula Balam. You can break it that ma if you want. It's easy to say it. Atula Bhalam, comma. Valinam Vyaja Vritya, comma. Varsha Vela Maneishihi. So put a visarga and comma there. Maneishihi. The next word on top of Viraha, there is a ir that goes away. Viraha Taralitas Tvam Matangashramante. Hatva Sugriva Ghatotyatammatula Bhalam Valinam Vyajavritya Varsha Vela Maneishihi Viraha Taralitas Tvam Matangashramante.
हत्वा सुग्रीवगात्योद्यतमतुलबलं बालिनं व्याजवृत्या वर्षावेलामनैषीः विरह तरलितस्त्वं मतङ्गाश्रमान्ते.
Garu, that see, some books have the word Bali, right? The original word is Vali, V as in Vishnu, that V. Okay, but then in North India, sometimes the Vrindavan becomes Brindavan, Bali becomes Bali, right? Because of the colloquial thing. So we'll stick to the Va sound of it. Okay, so Valinam Vyajavritya.
Oh, yes, thank you. हत्वा सुग्रीवगातोद्यतमतुलबलं वालिनं व्याजवृत्या वर्षावेलमनैषीः विरहतरलितस्त्वं मतङ्गाश्रमान्ते.
Adva Sugriva Gadot Yadamadula Balam Valinam Vyajavridya Varsha Vela Manakshay Viragadharalitas Tam Madangasramante Adva Sugriva Gadot Yadamadula Balam Valinam Vyajavridya Varsha Vela Manakshay Viragadharalitas Tam Madangasramante.
Ravi, in the last line, Maneshihi, Visarga is there. Varsha Vela Maneshi. Okay. Stanza 2. Sugrivenanujokya sabayam abhyata vyuhitam vahinim tam rikshanam vikshya dekshu drutamata margana yavanam ram sandesham changuliyam pavana sutakare pradisho modashali marge mamarge kapibhirapi tada tvatpriya saprayasaihi. So now Sugriva got his kingdom back and he got his wife back. Then they went into the rainy season. So Rama said, okay, 4 months I will wait, right, till things settle down, because the rainy season, they cannot go out much and do much. So, but 4 months pass and then more time pass. Sugriva doesn't even come out, right? So then at one point, Rama and Lakshmana started wondering what is happening with this person. So they then, or this monkey. So they then said, Lakshmana goes in. And Lakshmana goes, he then sees on this long story. So I won't, because you can listen to a lot of this Dushyant Sridhar's thing on Ramayanam, right, where he talks in extreme detail. So, you know, he talks about how Sugriva was like completely drunk, right? And he was with this, with the other, with the she monkey, and then they were not caring about anything. They're completely given up. So at that time, Lakshmana goes in full of anger and says, if I wish, you know, my brother doesn't have to come. I myself can destroy all of you in a single minute. Right, but we are trying to do things peacefully. So it kind of reminds them that the promise you made, you completely forgotten about it. So at the time, when Sugriva and everybody comes to the realization, and they say, okay, we are going to go now and we're going to look for Sita. But at that time, they didn't know Sita had gone to Lanka. They knew that somebody called Ravana had abducted Sita. They didn't know where Sita was located at this point, right? So they go marge, mamarge. They go in all directions. Everybody goes in different directions looking for Sita. And of course, but to find out that they are representing Rama. So Rama, of course, gives them Anguliyam. He gives them a ring to say, if you find Sita, then you give this ring to Sita. That way they know it was sent by Rama with a message as well. But they go everywhere looking, but they're not able to find Sita. Sugrivenanu Joktya, that's one word. Sabayam Abhiyata, comma. Vyuhitam Vahinim Tam. So put the im at the end of that line. Vahinim Tam, comma. Next line, Mrikshanam becomes Rikshanam. So Rikshanam Vikshya Dikshu, comma. Drutamata Daita Marganayava Nambram. That's also one word, not break it. Sugrivenanu Joktya Sabhayam Abhiyata Vyuhitam Vahinim Tam Rikshanam Vikshya Dikshu Drutamata Daita Marganayava Nambram.
Sugrivenanu-joktya sabhayam-abhiyata vyuhitam vahinim tam rikshanam vikshya dikshu dhrutamata dayita marganaya vanamram. Sugrivenanu-joktya sabhayam-abhiyata vyuhitam vahinim tam rikshanam vikshya dikshu dhrutamata dayita marganaya vanamram.
Sugrivena anujoknya sabayam abhayita yogitam vaginindam rikshanam vikshadikshu dhrutamada marganaya anamram. Sugrivena anujokya sabayam abhayita yogitam vaginindam rikshanam vikshadikshu Dhamadadayita Marganaya Namram. See, that's Marganaya Avanamram. That's what it said in the book.
But you that similar to the first word I was going to correct. Sugrivena Anujoktya, you are saying, right? So generally when that it's ending with a na and ya and the a is coming after, in Sanskrit they don't separate it as two words. It becomes like you say it together as one word. You make it a and then continue. So Sugrivenanu Joktya. Similarly, Dayita Margana Yavanamram.
Okay, got it.
It's original word is a, but then it combines and becomes a extension of the previous word.
Okay, got it.
Sandesham Changuliyam, comma, Pavana Sutakare Pradisho Modashali, comma, Marge Mamarge, comma, Kapi Bhirapi Tada, comma, Twat Priya Saprayasaihi. Sandesham Changuliyam Pavana Sutakare Pradisho Modashali Marge Mamarge Kapi Bhirapi Tada Twat Priya Saprayasaihi.
Sandesham Changuliyam Pavanasutakare Pradisho Modashali Marge Mamarge Kapibhirapi Tada Tvatpriya Saprayasaihi. Sandesham Changuliyam Pavanasutakare Pradisho Modashali Marge Mamarge Kapibhirapi Tada Tvatpriya Saprayasaihi.
Sandesam Sanguliyam Bhavana Sudakare Pradiso Modasali Marge Mamarge Kabibirabidada Priya Saprayasaihi. Sandesham Sanguliyam Bhavana Sudakare Pradiso Modasali Marge Mamarge Kabibirabidada Priya Saprayasaihi.
Me Rajeshri. In my book it says marge nu marge. Appadine marge mamarge.
Yeah, marge mamarge.
Marge mamarge.
Yeah, that just says every direction, in all directions. That's what it is saying. Marge is certain directions. Mamarge is completely different. In the searching for your consort, searching for your wife. So that marge is different from the first marge. So marge, all directions. Mamarge.
Mama. Okay. So I'll cancel the nu anga.
Yeah. Stanza 3. Twadvarta karnanodyat garudurujava sampati vakya protirnarnodihi antarnagari janakajam bhikshya datvanguliyam prakshudhyodhyanam akshakshapana chanaranah sodabandho dashasyam drishtva plushtva cha lankam jhatiti sa hanuman mauliratnam dhadaute. So this entire Sundarakandam has been condensed into this one stanza. So I cannot go and explain all the meaning that is there in Sundarakandam, right? It's so big in itself. So anyway, the gist of this is, so when everybody goes looking, Hanuman and Valis and Angada, Jambavan, they all go south, further south, looking for Sita. So at that time, at one point, they get very exhausted, because they've been looking for a really long time, and then they all kind of fall down exhausted, right? So at that time, they come across another vulture, called as the Sampati. The Sampati is now thinking, what, this is like fresh meat for me lying there, like monkeys which are, completely fainted, who cannot run. So when he's actually, beginning to think about it, and they start, so at that time, Jambavan, he says, what a disappointment. Like you are being a vulture, we are all tired monkeys. You are trying to attack us and try to eat us. However, there was a great vulture by name Jatayu who actually helped our friend, and that's the kind of vulture one needs to be. You seem to be somebody who doesn't seem to care. So when the Sampati heard the word Jatayu, he says, how do you know about Jatayu? So at that time, so he says, Sampati says, I am Jatayu's brother. He says, I actually, when Jatayu was young, I actually helped protect him once, because of which my wings got burned. So I actually, that's why Sampati is not able to fly. So he says, I'm just sitting in one place waiting for food to come to me. But how did you know about Jatayu? So at this time, Jambavan tells the story of what happens to Rama, and then Sita getting abducted, and then Jatayu trying to prevent Ravana from going. So at that time, Sampati says, I know where Sita is. He says, Ravana, I know he took Sita across the water, and he's actually in the other side of this ocean. He's in Lanka. So Sampati is the one who actually tells that. So at that point, then they have to decide who needs to go, and Hanuman then decides to go. So Hanuman then takes that Anguli, and then he goes to meet Sita, and then you all know all the details, right, of how Hanuman meets Sita and all of that stuff. So there it summarizes saying, you went there. Hanuman then gave the ring to Sita, gave the message to Sita, destroyed the gardens that is there, and then there was one son of Ravana called as Akshay Kumar. He then gets rid of him. And then Brahmastra is sent towards Hanuman, which binds him. And then Hanuman then goes there to meet Ravana. Then takes it on fire. He then burns Lanka. Finally comes back to Rama and then gives a message to Rama. So the entire thing is condensed here. So I was just telling earlier to Maitli and others, like I sent a video, I wanted to send it yesterday, but anyway. But I think what that video is telling is it's from the Guru Ayappan serial, which happens in Malayalam. So it's about Bhattaripat writing this stanza. Right, he's writing this stanza, and then he says, Hanuman does all this, he goes to Lanka, he meets Sita, he gives your message, gets rid of all this, meets Ravana, comes back, and then gives the ring back to Rama. That's how it needs to end, because the ring is given back to Rama, right? But when he was writing it, when he's saying to Rama, it was not landing for him at the very end, right? So it was Mauli Ratnam Dadau to Rama, but that word was not landing. So Bhattaripat was saying, and he's a Sanskrit scholar. So he's saying, I've already written it in a particular way. I don't want to go back and erase what I wrote, right? Because then they don't do that. Once they write it, then that's it, right? They don't go back and erase it. So he's wondering, what do I put there? So at that time, then Krishna comes in front of him and says, comes in the form of Rama. So when Bhattaripat is looking at Guru Ayappan, he's seeing Lord Rama. So Bhattaripat says, why do I have to write to Rama? He says, he then gave the ring to you, right? So that's the significance of that word there, of putting it there. He's saying, Hanuman does all this. He comes back, Guru Ayappan gives the ring to you. So that is the significance of the inserting that word there, and that's what that video which I sent you was explaining there, right? So Twadvarta, actually you can't even take that. Twadvarta karna nodyat garuduru java sampati vakya. So that full line is continuous. Put a plus. Protirnar nodihi. So protirnar nodihi. The ra that is there, you remove it, put a visarga comma. So whole of first line and then protirnar nodihi, comma. Next word starts with the a. Antar nagari janakajam vikshya datvanguliyam. Twadvarta karnanodyat garudhurujava sampati vakya protirnarnodihi antar nagari janakajam vikshya datvanguliyam.
Twadvarta karnanodyat oh my god. Twadvarta karnanodyat garudurujava sampati vakya protirnanodihi antarnagari janakajam vikshya datvanguliyam. Twadvarta karnanodyat garudurujava sampati vakya protirnanodihi antarnagari janakajam vikshya datvanguliyam.
Tvatvarta karnanotyat karudharujava sampadi vakya protirnarnodihi andar nagari janakajam vikshya tatvanguliyam. Tvatvarta karnanotyat karudharujava sampadi vakya protirnarnodihi andar nagari janakajam vikshya tatvanguliyam.
Prakshudhyodhyanam. So that ma that is there, you break it, put a im, comma. Aksha shapana shanaranaha, comma. Soda bhando dashasyam drishtva. So put a plus at the end of that word dashasyam. Then after drishtva you put a comma. So soda bhando dashasyam drishtva, comma. Plishtva cha lankam jhatiti sa Hanuman Mauliratnam dhadote. So he came very quickly because he knew Rama was waiting, right? And then he comes back. Prakshudhyodhyanam akshakshapana chanaranaha sodhabando dashasyam drishtva plishtva cha lankam jhatiti sa Hanuman Mauliratnam dhadote.
Prakshukshodhyanam akshakshapadacharanah sodabandho dasasyam drishtva पुष्ट्वा च लङ्कां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौते.
After chanaranaha, there's a pause, okay, in the third line.
Okay. प्रक्षोद्योद्यानम् अक्षक्षपणचणरणः सोडबन्धो दसास्यं दृष्ट्वा प्लुष्ट्वा च लङ्कां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौते.
Prakshutyothyanam akshashavaнаcharanah shodabhanto dasasyam dritva plishtva cha lankam jaditi sa hanuman mauliratnam tataute. Prakshutyothyanam akshashavaнаcharanah shodabhanto dasasyam dritva plishtva cha lankam jaditi sa hanuman mauliratnam tataute.
We just switch here. So Sashilekha Garu, you can be a student, and then Vijay, you can be a student. Stanza 4. Tvam sugrivangadhade prabala kapichamu chakra vikranta bhumi chakro bhikramya pare jhaladi nishicharendra shriyamanaha tatproktam shatruvartam rahasi nishamayan Prarthana Parthya Rosha Prastagniyastrathejah Trasadhudarigira Labdhavan Madhyamargam. This is a little bit of a tough chapter only. Anyways, 34, 35, 36 also will be a little hard. So then after the Mauli Ratnam was given, So then at that time, they all decide that it's time to go. So along with Sugriva, Anga, and all the other monkeys who are actually able to help, they all now finally come to the bank of the Indian Ocean. They come to the shore there. So there, when they are kind of waiting, so at that time, Vibhishana comes, right? Vibhishana comes and he says that, I am actually offering my Sharanagati. So Rama accepts it, all that story. People say don't, but he says anybody is welcome and everything. So Vibhishana then tells Rama the tricks, right? The secrets of what is there with Ravana and everybody else, or how they can actually create illusions and all the kinds of weapons they have. He shares all of that. And finally, you all then decide to cross. So you have to cross the ocean, right? So at that time, the ocean then gave way, so you can actually build the bridge. So because of which you are then able to get across to that. Tvam Sugrivangadhadi Prabala Kapi Chamu Chakra Vikranta Bhumi, then put a plus, Chakrobhikramya, comma, Pare Jhaladi. I think Pare Jhaladi, after that, I think there is a comma. I'll confirm it. I am somehow getting doubtful there. But anyway, put a comma, the Pare Jhaladi. Nishi Charendranuja Shriyamanaha. That word you cannot break it. So Nishi Charendranuja Shriyamanaha. Tvam Sugrivangadhade Prabala Kapichamu Chakra Vikranta Bhumi Chakrobhikramya Pare Jhaladi Nishi Charendranuja Shriyamanaha.
Tvam Sugrivan Gadadi Prabala Kapichamu Chakra Vikranta Bhumi Chakro. You said, okay. Bhumi Chakro Bhikramya Pare Jaladhi Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha. Tvam Sugrivan Gadadi Prabala Kapichamu Chakra Vikranta Bhumi Chakro Bhikramya Pare Jaladhi Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha.
Tvam Sugrivankatadi Prabala Kabichamu Chakra Vikranta Bhumi Chakro Vikramya Pare Jalati Nichicharendranuja Shriyamanaha.
Vijay, in the second line, after Pare Jhaladi, put a pause, and then it's Nishi Charendranuja.
Nishi Charendranuja.
Nishi, yeah.
Nishi, okay. Tvam Sugrivankatadi Prabala Kabichamu Chakra Vikranta Bhumi Chakro Vikramya Pare Jalati Nishisharendranuja Shriyamanaha.
Tat Proktam Shatruvartham Rahasi Nishamayanne, comma, Prarthana Parthya Rosha, and then put a plus, Prastagni Yastra Tejaha. So that word comes continuously. Prastagni Yastra Tejaha. So instead of that is, you put a visarga comma. So plus at the end of the third line, and then comes continuously. After Tejaha, you put a comma. Trasa Dudadi Gira Labdhavan Madhya Margam. Tatproktam Shatruvartam Rahasi Nishamayan Prarthana Parthya Rosha Prastagni Yastra Tejaha Trasa Dudadi Gira Labdhavan Madhya Margam.
Tat Proktam Shatruvartam Rahasi Nishamayan Prarthana Parthya Rosha Tat Proktam Shatruvartam Rahasi Nishamayan Prarthana Parthya Rosha Prashtagneya Stratejaha Trasadudadhi Gira Labdhavan Madhyamargam. Tat Proktam Shatruvartam Rahasi Nishamayan Prarthana Parthya Rosha Prasta Yeya Stratejaha Trasadudhadi Gira Labdhavan Madhyamargam.
Tat Proktam Chatruvartam Rahasi Nisamayan Prarthana Parthya Rosha Prastagne प्रास्ताग्नेयास्त्र तेजः त्रसतु दधि किरा लब्धवान् मध्यमार्गम् तत्प्रोक्तां शत्रुवार्तां रहसि निशमयन् प्रार्थना पार्थरोक्ष प्रास्ताग्नेयास्त्र तेजः त्रसतु ततिकिरा लब्धवान् मध्यमार्गम्.
That's right. कीशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमाधाप्य यातो यातून्यामर्द्य दंष्ट्रा नखशिखरिशिला सालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रजेत्रा वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः गपति गरुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः. So this, so the monkeys, all of them, they start building the bridge, right? So they got all the mountains that they can, rocks and stones and everything that they can to actually build the bridge across to Lanka. And they all then cross over, right? And then they go, they have everything for battling with them. They of course have their claws, they have their teeth, they carry branches of trees and rocks, whatever they can find, they take it as a weapon to go. So there, once they start going there, then they of course encounter Indrajit, right? So this Indrajit is, he's also called as Meghananda, right? So he defeated Indra once. So because he won over Indra, he was called as Indrajit. And then because of that, Brahma gave him some boon, etc. Or that the person who can kill him has to stop Indrajit from performing a sacrifice and then should have not slept for 12 years. He has all those conditions. Anyway, we'll see a little bit of that later as well. So anyway, they have the battle with Indrajit. And Indrajit then, does the Nagastra, he sends a Nagastra because of which Lakshmana is bound by it. He cannot escape from that. Then, however, with Hanuman's help, Garuda himself comes and releases Lakshmana out of that Nagastra. So, Kishair Ashan, if you want to break, you can break at that Ra. Kishair Ashantaropahrita Giri Nikaraihi, Setum Adhapya Yato, Yatunya Mardya, Damshtra Nakha Shikhari Shila Sala Shastraihi. Is Shala Shastrais Swa Sainyaihi. So this one, I'll just repeat the last one again. This got a mix of Sa and Sha there. So Damshtra Nakha Shikhari Shila Sala Shastrais Swa Sainyaihi. कीशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमाधाप्य यातून्यामर्द्य दंष्ट्रा नखशिखरिशिला सालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः.
कीशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमाधाप्य यातून्यामर्द्य दंष्ट्रा नखशिखरिशिला सालशास्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः.
Salashastrays. You said Shastrais.
Shastrais. Okay. कीशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमाधाप्य यातून्यामर्द्य दंष्ट्रा नखशिखरिशिला सालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः.
कीशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमादाप्य यादून्यामर्त्य दंष्ट्रा नखशिखरिशिला शालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः. कीशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमादाप्य यादून्यामर्त्य दंष्ट्रा नखशिखरिशिला शालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः.
Last word, Sainyaihi. Okay, the last word.
Okay.
Yeah, and the second line, Yatunya Mardya, there is a comma after that. Okay. Second line. Vyakurvan Sanujastvam, Samara Bhuvi Param Vikramam Shakra Jetra, Vegan Nagastra Baddaha, Patagapati Garun Marutair Mochito Bhuhu. Vyakurvan Sanujastvam Samarabhuvi Param Vikramam Shakrajetra Vegan Nagastra Baddaha Patagapati Garun Marutair Mochito Bhuhu.
व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रजेत्र वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पतगपतिगरुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रजेत्र वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पतगपतिगरुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः
व्याकुर्वन् चानुजस्त्वं समरपुवि परं विक्रमं चक्रजेत्रा वेकान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पदकबधिकरुन्मारुदैर्मोषितोपुः व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरपुवि परं विक्रमं चक्रजेत्रा वेकान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पदकबधिकरुन्मारुदैर्मोषितोपुः.
Fantastic. सौमित्रिस्त्वत्र शक्ति प्रहृति गलद सुर्वात जानीत शैलघ्राणात् प्राणानुपेतो व्यकृणुत कुसृतिश्लाघिनं मेघनादं मायाक्षोभेषु वैभीषण वचन हृतस्तम्भनः कुम्भकर्णं सम्प्राप्तं कंपितोर्वीतलमखिल चमू भक्षिणं व्यक्षिणोस्त्वम्. So here again the battle is continuing. So at this time, because of the Shakti weapon which is actually discharged by Ravana, which Lakshmana is then bound by. So Lakshmana then falls, and then somebody had to rescue him. He has to get the right medication by next day morning, because of which Hanuman then goes get the Sanjeevani mountain, rescues Lakshmana, and then next day, when the battle with Indrajit is happening, he creates all this illusion of Sita getting beheaded and Sita coming to the battlefield, all of that stuff, which of course Vibhishana comes and remains Rama and Lakshmana, that these are all illusions that Indrajit is actually creating, so don't fall for them. Eventually they get rid of Indrajit, and then finally Kumbhakarna comes, who then ends up destroying a lot of the, that's which is Akhila Chamu Bhakshinam. He then ends up eating or destroying all the monkeys who are actually there, and finally you then get rid of Kumbhakarna also, who was kind of devouring the entire army. So all of that, again, it's all battle which you all know of. So Saumitris Twatra Shakti Prakriti Galada Survata Janita. Cannot break it much there. So Prakriti Galada Survata Janita Shaila, put a plus, Granat Prananupeto, comma. So the whole of the first line, and then after Prananupeto, comma, Vyakrunutha Kusritish Laginam Meghanadam. Saumitri Twatra Shakti Prakriti Ghalata Survata Janita Shaila Granat Prananupeto Vyakrunuta Kusritish Laginam Meghanadam.
सौमित्रिस्त्वत्र शक्ति प्रकृति कलद सुर्वात जानीत शैल ग्राणात् प्राणानुपेतो व्यकृणुत कुसृतिश्लाघिनं मेघनादं सौमित्रिस्त्वत्र शक्ति प्रकृति गलद सुर्वात जानीत शैल घ्राणात् प्राणानुपेतो व्यकृणुत कुसृतिश्लाघिनं मेघनादम्
सौमित्रिस्त्वत्र शक्तिप्रहृति कलदसुर्वात जानीतः शैलक्राणात् प्राणानुपेदो व्यग्रनुद कुश्रुदिश्लाघिनं मेघनादम्.
Vijay, in the first line there is no visarga anywhere. I think you said somewhere. It's a Prakriti Galada Survata Janita Shaila. It goes continuously. There's no visarga anywhere.
Okay. Saumitris Shakti-prahati Kala-survada Janita Sailakranat Prananupedo Vyakrunudak Kushrudishlaginam Meganatam.
मायाक्षोभेषु, Vaibhishana Vachana Shrita Stambhanah. Is there put a ich sound? Stambhanah Kumbhakarnam, put a plus Sampraptam. So first comma after Kshobheshu in the third line, then continuous, and after fourth line after Sampraptam, comma. Kampitor, so this Kampitor Vithalam Akhila, if you want to break it. Kampitor Vithalam Akhila Chamu Bhakshinam Vyakshinostvam. Maya Kshobheshu Vaibhishana Vachana Hritastambana Kumbhakarnam Sampraptam Kampitor Vithalam Akhila Chamu Bhakshinam Vyakshinostvam.
Maya Kshobeshu Vaibhishana Vachana Kritastambhanah Kumbhakarnam Sampraptam Kampitorvitalam Akhila Chamu Bhakshinam Vyakshinostvam. Maya Kshobeshu Vaibhishana Vachana Kritastambhanah Kumbhakarnam Sampraptam Kampitorvitalam Akhila Chamu Bhakshinam Vyakshinostvam.
Maya Sobekshu Vaibhishana Vasanakruda Stambana Kumbhakarnam Sampraptam Kampitorvidhalamagila Samu Bhakshinam Vyakshinostvam. Maya Sobekshu Vaibhishana Vasanakruda Stambana Kumbhakarnam Sampraptam Kampitorvidhalamagila Samu Bhakshinam Vyakshinostvam.
Vijay, the third line, it's Maya Kshobeshu. Okay, Ksha sound.
Okay.
Okay, and then a comma after that. Okay.
Bekshu.
Yeah. 7. Grinhan Jambhari Sampreshita Ratakavachau Ravanenabhiyudhyan Brahmastrenasya Bindan Galatatim Abhalam Agnishuddham Pragrinhan Devashrini Varo Jivita Samaramritaihi Akshatai Riksha Sanghaihi Lanka Bhartra Chasakam Nijanagaramaga Sapriya Pushpakena. So final, the battle with Ravana, right? He encounters Ravana because Kumbhakarna, you remember the Jaya Vijaya who were born first, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, then Ravana, Kumbhakarna, right? So Kumbhakarna was gotten rid of. Now here the Ravana is left. So then the battle between Rama and Ravana happens, and then Rama gets help from Indra, who then ends up coming, bringing him some chariot and some weapons and everything, and then finally you get rid of Ravana as well. So with the Brahmastra, right? So once Ravana is gotten rid of, so then at that time Sita had to undergo a purification by, she then got into the fire to show that she was pure. Then all of you along with Bibhishana, you all got back to Ayodhya using the Pushpakena, using the Pushpaka Vimana, because the 14-year period also had gotten over by then. So Grinnan Jambhari Sampreshita Ratha Kavachau, Ravanenabhiyudhyan, Brahmastrenasya Bindan Galatatim. So that ma that is there, you break it, put a im, Galatatim, Next word starts with the a. Abhalam Agni Shuddham Pragrihnan. So half ha there, Pragrihnan. Grihnan Jambhari Sampreshita Ratha Kavachau Ravanenabhiyudhyan Brahmastrenasya Bindan Galatatim Abhalam Agni Shuddham Pragrihnan.
Is it Grihnan or Grinhan, or is it the same?
See, that whenever the ich and a na is coming, right? So there are different ways, some people say grihnan. Some people make that ich a little bit silent, becomes grinnan.
Grinhan. Yeah, okay.
But it's not grinhan. The ha never comes later. It's either
okay.
a half ha comes first, or the half ha becomes silent. Those are the two different ways of saying it.
Okay. Grihnan Jambhari Sampreshita Ratha Kavachau Ravanenabhiyudhyan Brahmastrenasya Bhindan galatatin abalamagnishuddham grihnan jambhari sampreshita ratha kavachau ravanenabhiyudhyan brahmastrenasya bhindan galatatin abalamagnishuddham pragrihnan.
Rajesh garu, in the second line, is it ma or galatatim or galatatin?
Galatatim, M sound.
M, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I
Grihnan
thought you asked us to change it, right?
No, the ma that is there, I said make it an im and a. So galatatim abalam.
Okay,
Yeah,
because it
sorry, I
was
missed-
M, I
Oh,
changed
sorry.
it to N.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
गृह्णन् जम्पारि सम्प्रेक्षित रथकवचौ रावणेनापि युक्तन् ब्रह्मास्त्रेणास्य बिन्तन् कलततिम् अपलामग्निशुद्धां प्रकृह्णन् गृह्णन् जम्पारि सम्प्रेक्षित रथकवचौ रावणेनापि युक्तन् ब्रह्मास्त्रेणास्य बिन्तन् कलततिम् अपलामग्निशुद्धां प्रहृह्णन्.
Yeah, and the first line after Ratha Kavachau, there's a comma, okay, in the first line.
Okay.
Deva Shreni Varoj Jivita, they say ij under ja, Varoj Jivita Samara Mritaihi. So the ra that is there, you put a visarga comma, Mritaihi. Next word starts with the a. Akshatair Riksha Sanghaihi. Another visarga and comma, end of the line. Next line on top of that Lanka, there is a ir that goes away. Lanka Bhartracha Sakam Nija Nagaramagaha, comma. Sapriyaha, put a F, Sapriyaf Pushpakena. Devashrehi Varojivita Samaramritaihi Akshatai Riksha Sanghaihi Lanka Bhartracha Sakam Nija Nagaramagaha Sapriyaf Pushpakena.
Devashreni varo jivita samara mrutairhi akshatai raksha sankhaihi lanka bharata cha sakam nijanagaramaгаha sapriyav pushpakena. Devashreni varo jivita samara mrutairhi akshatai raksha sankhaihi Lanka Bhartra cha Sakam Nijanagaramaгаha Sapriyav Pushpakena.
देवश्रेणीवरो जीवितसमर मृतैः अक्षतैरुक्षसङ्गैः लङ्काभर्ता च साकं निजनगरमगाः सप्रियः पुष्पकेन देवश्रेणीवरो जीवितसमर मृतैः अक्षदैर्वृक्षसङ्गैः लङ्काभर्ता च साकं निजनगरमगा Sapriyah Pushpakena.
Nigaramagaha, Angat is a visarga, okay, on the fourth line.
Okay.
Stanza 8, and we'll run through a little bit fast the next 3 stanzas, so we'll finish it today. Preeto dhibhyabhishekaihi ayuta samadikan vatsaran paryaramsihi maitilyam papavacha shiva shiva kilatam garbhinim abhyahasihi Shatrughne-nardayitva lavana nishicharam prardaya shudhrapasham tavat valmiki gehe kritavasati rupa suta sita sutaute. So then Rama Pattabhishekam happens. They all come back to Ayodhya and the coronation happens. And then Rama rules for a really long time. And at that time, then the scandal or the gossip comes about Sita, right, from a washerman, which he hears. And then although she was pregnant, you then abandon her, Sita. So this way, Shiva, it is very unfortunate that you then abandon Sita. What a pity. And then she then takes refuge, she then takes shelter in Valmiki's ashram. And eventually she gives birth to 2 sons. So this washerman I'll just make a note here and we'll cover later. We'll talk about this washerman in the 74th Dashakam later. Okay, there's a story that will connect this washerman when the Krishna Avataram happens. So I'll remind you all at that point. Prito Divyabhishekaihi. So the ra that is there, put a visarga comma, shekaihi. Next word starts with the a. Ayuta Samadhikan Vatsaran Paryaramsihi. Again, visarga comma, end of that line. Next word on top of Maithilyam, there is a ir that goes away. It becomes Maithilyam Papa Vacha, comma, Shiva Shiva Kilatam Garbhinim Abhyahasihi. You can break it with ma. Prito Divyabhishekaihi Ayuta Samadhikan Vatsaran Paryaramsihi Maithilyam Papa Vacha Shiva Shiva Kilatam Garbhinim Abhyahasihi.
प्रीतो दिव्याभिषेकैः अयुतसमधिकान् वत्सरान् पर्यरंसीः मैथिल्यां papava. Is it Papavacha?
Papa Vacha, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I have to stop. Okay. Maithilyam Papavacha Shiva Shiva Kilatam Garbhinim Abhyahasihi. Prito Divya.
Sorry, we just do one time.
Okay, sorry, sure.
प्रीतो दिव्याभिषेकैः आयुधसमधिकान् वत्सरान् पर्यरंशीः मैथिल्यां पापवाचा शिव शिव किलतां गर्भिणीमभ्यहासीः.
Shatrughne Nardayitva, it's one word. Lavana Nishicharam. So just another asura called Lavanasura who Shatrughna gets rid of. Lavana Nishicharam, comma. Prardayaha, put a ish, Prardayash Shudra Pasham, comma. Tavat Valmiki Gehe, comma. Krita Vasatir Upasuta, if you want to break it, or you can say it together. Krita Vasatir Upasuta Sita Sutau Te. Shatrughne Nardayitva Lavana Nishicharam Prardaya Shudrapasham Tavad Valmiki Gehe Krita Vasati Rupa Suta Sita Sutaute.
Shatrughne Nardayitva Lavana Nishicharam Prardhaya Shudrapasham Tavad Valmiki Gehe Kritavasatir Upasuta Sita Sutaute.
शत्रुघ्नेनार्तयित्वा लवननचिचरं प्रार्थय शूद्रपाशं तावत् वाल्मीकिकेः कृतवसतिर् उपसुदसीता सुदौते.
The third line, Lavana Nishicharam. Okay. And say that line. That word. Yeah, Nishicharam. Okay. And then yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Nishicharam प्रार्थय शूद्रपाशं तावत् वाल्मीकिकेः कृतवसतिर् उपसुदसीता सुदौते.
And the other correction was in the fourth line, Upasuta. That's a long U that comes there. Okay. The fourth line. Kritavasati Upasuta.
Is it Upashuda? In my book, it is
Upasuta. Upasuta.
Okay.
Stanza 9. Valmike stvatsutodghapita madura krite rajñaya yajñavate Sitam tvayaptu kame kshitim abhishadaso tvam cha kalartito bhuho heto saumitri ghati swayamata sarayu magna nishesha bhrityai sakam nakam prayato nijapadamagamo deva vaikunthamadhyam. So then the Ashwamedha Yajna that happens where Lava and Kusha are coming and then they recite Ramayana, the story. Then Rama comes to know about it. So all of that chap happens. And eventually when Rama is ready to take Sita, then Sita then disappears into the earth, right? So then Sita goes away. Now, then that finally time comes for Rama to depart. And Rama cannot depart as long as Hanuman and Lakshmana is there by his side. Because the Rama cannot leave this earth. So some stories happen, backstory. Rama drops the ring. He tells Hanuman to go to Patala to look for the ring. Hanuman then goes. At that time, Hanuman is gone. And then, Lakshmana also gets strict by actually coming in. Ramana puts a rule that you cannot enter the room when Yama comes, but however Lakshmana enters. There's a lot of backstories that go there. Anyway, Lakshmana is not there. Hanuman is also not there. At the time, Rama decides a time for me to exit this earth. So you, along with everybody else, and whoever follows him, you then get into the river Sarayu and finally go to Nija Padamagamo. You go to your original destination, which is Vaikuntham. So on this way, this Rama Avataram comes to an end. So Valmike's Twat Sutodghapita Madhura Kriter Agnyaya. You can break at that Ra. Kriter Agnyaya Yajnavate. So the whole line is together, comma at the end. Sitam Tvayaptu Kame, comma. Kshitim Avishadasau, comma. Tvam cha Kalartito Bhuhu. वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृतेराज्ञया यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदसौ त्वं च कालार्तितो भूः.
वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृते आज्ञया यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिम् अविशदसौ त्वं च कालार्थितो भूः.
वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्स्तोत्कापितमधुरकृते राज्ञया यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदौ त्वं च कालार्तितो भूः.
The second line, Viji, Kshitim Avishadasau. Second line, middle word. Yeah.
Oh, Shitim Avichavisau. Okay.
Avishadasau. Okay.
Tasau, right?
Da sound. Avishadasau.
Avishadasau. Okay.
Hetoho, put is Hetos Saumitri Ghati, comma, Swayamata Sarayu Magna Nishesha Brityehi is there, put a is and put a plus, Brityeis Sakam, and then put a comma. So one comma after Ghati, then one comma after Sakam in the fourth line. Nakam Prayato, comma, Nija Padamagamo Deva Vaikuntha Madhyam. Heto Saumitri Ghati Swayamata Sarayu Magna Nishesha Bhrityai Sakam Nakam Prayato Nijapadamagamo Deva Vaikuntha Madhyam.
हेतो सौमित्रिघाती स्वयमथ सरयू मग्ननिःशेषभृत्यै साकं नाकं प्रयातो निजपदमगमो देववैकुण्ठमाद्यम्.
हेतो सौमित्रकात्री स्वयमत सरयूमग्ननिक्षेषभृत्यै साकं नाकं प्रायतो निचपदमगमो देववैकुण्ठमाद्यम्.
And the fourth line, Nakam Prayato.
Nakam Prayato.
Stanza 10. Sohyam Martyavatarah Tava Khalu Niyatam Martya Shikshartamevam Vishleshartir Niragastyajanamapi Bhavet Kama Dharmati Saktya Nochet Swatmanubhute Kvanutava Manaso Vikriya Chakrapane Satvam Satvaikamurte Pavanapurapathe Vyadhunu Vyadhitapan. He says, "Oh Lord, you are the supreme Lord. So, however, you only took this incarnation as Rama to show how a human should live, how the human embodiment of the right human should be. So, because of it, you also show that, anytime you have extreme attachment to something, you're always going to have pain when that separation happens. So that is what you are showing here, right? So anybody has attachment towards anything, when that thing is always going to get separated from you at some point. And when that separation happens, you're going to have extreme pain. To show that, and also to show that when you are so strictly sticking to dharma, which is the right thing to do, it is going to cause more pain for you. But that doesn't mean you should abandon the dharma, right? So it is to kind of show all of these, that you took this incarnation because you in yourself is beyond all this. So you are not bound by all of these things, but you took it as an incarnation to show this to mankind. So with that, it comes to an end. So you are still an embodiment of Sattva Guna, Sattvaika Murti. You are the true embodiment of Sattva Guna, but you just did this to showcase it to everybody. Soyam Martyavatarah. So that is there. Put a visarga comma. Tava Khalu Niyatam Martya Shikshartamevam, comma. Vishlesharthir Niragas Tyajanamapi Bhavet. So I'll say that again. Vishlesharthir Niragas Tyajanamapi Bhavet, comma. Kama Dharmati Saktya. Sohyam Martyavatarah Tava Khalu Niyatam Martya Shikshartamevam Vishleshartir Niragas Tyajanamapi Bhavet Kama Dharmati Saktya.
Soyam Martyavatarah Tava Khalu Niyatam Martya Shiksharthamevam Vishleshartir Niragasthyajanamapi Bhavet Kama Dharmati Saktya.
सोऽयं मर्त्यावतारः तव खलु नियतं मर्त्यशिक्षार्थमेवं विश्लेषार्थिनिरागस्त्यजनमपि भवेत् कामधर्मादिसक्त्या.
No chet swatmanubhutehe, comma. Kva nu tava manaso vikriya chakrapane, comma. Satvam satvaika murthe, comma. Pavana purapathe, comma. Vyadhunu vyadhi tapan. No chet swatmanubhutehe kvanu tava manaso vikriya chakrapane satvam satvaika murte pavana purapate vyadhunu vyadhitapan.
No chet svatmanubhutehe kvanu tava manaso vikriya chakrapane satvam satvaika murte pavana purapate vyadhunu vyadhitapan.
नो चेत् स्वात्मानुभूतेः क्वनु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे सत्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधुनु व्याधितापान्.
Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Sorry, we had to rush the second half, but I wanted to finish it off today. So, Sandhanandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam kaladeshavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarurupurushartatmakam brahmatattvam tattavadbhati sakshat guru pavanapure anta bhagyam jananam. Kahena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrute swabhavat karhomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami. Thank you, everyone. Next class, we'll cover Parashuram Avataram, and then we'll finally get into Krishna Avataram from 37, which will go all the way to 88. So, another quick thing. So I sent you all a link for this Lemon Parayanam that is coming, right? So since most of you are going to be doing it for the first time. So the way we'll do it is first put up your name in that Excel sheet. I sent an Excel sheet. You all should have got, you should be able to enter your name. So just enter your name and then how many are coming for lunch. And depending on how many people are coming, we will decide how many Dashakams each will do. But we're going to be doing it in that Radha Krishna Sannidhi at Lemont on August 24th, right? So it's going to be a full day event. Because they start only at 8:30, so we cannot start earlier than that. So we'll start at 8:30 and then it'll probably go till 4. But this batch, we would have kind of finished about half by the time. We would have finished about 50. So at least you all can come and stay for the first 50 at least, right? And then you can leave after lunch, worst case. So, okay.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.